Thank you very much, Mr. Lobo, for your forceful and convincing speech. Now I call upon my colleague, co-host, Mr. Gasper Crasto.
Thank you, Sani. What's good about being a Goan NRI? Since childhood, I never cherished any dreams of going abroad. Instead, I always wanted to live in India. It was just a few years back that the doors to a foreign land opened up for me. My first pay made my eyes pop up upon converting the currency, of course. I also realized that with a job in a foreign land, one could earn quickly. My initial goal was just to stay for 1 year, amass some wealth, and go back to our Goa. But that did not happen. As I think over, I keep wondering if I will ever go back. One side pulls me towards my Goa, while the other side is so accustomed to life in Kuwait, it holds me back. It's like this. Once you taste life abroad, you are like out of that frog in the well situation and find it more interesting than ever. Now I am convinced that all Goans who are abroad are indeed NRIs, non-returning Indians. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome a dynamic personality in the Middle East. He has conducted different training courses for the community, a recipient of the Global Goans Community Leadership Award, the president of Goan Welfare Association in Doha, Qatar. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for dynamic personality, Mr. Simon De Silva. He is going to speak to you on being a NRI Goan.
Pardesan Paule Ami, Purdeshi Zale Ami. Pardesan Paule Ami, Purdeshi Zale Ami. Gainkar Pormat, Visramnath Ami. Gainkar Pormat, Visramnath Ami, Kitak Nizache Gainkar Ami, Nizache Gainkar Ami. Member of Congress Working Committee and as Chief Minister of Goa, my friend Sri Rizin Falero, Chief Secretary Mr. Sanjay Srivastava, Director for NRIFS Mr. Ulas Kamar, Chairman of Goan Cultural Center Karmo Santos and President Mr. Suresh Naik, members of the Goan Cultural Center, NRI Goans, ladies and gentlemen. A very old Goan quotation goes thus: distant hills look beautiful, near ones are ugly. In case of the Goan community, as with the greater populace of India at large, it is true in the sense that the foreign-bound Goans leave the beautiful paradise of Goa and journey overseas in search of a better mountain. Once they have traveled and spent some time abroad, the Goan mountain seems far more beautiful and green. But by that time, all roads back are lost, and they are left with reminiscences and remembrances of their childhood buried in the Goan sands of Europe. Goa is a virtual melting pot, with people coming from various streams and ethnic stocks at different points of time in the long and varied history of this small region. The coastal society of Goa is more elastic and less rigid and has a modern world outlook. There was always an incipient trend towards the professionalization of the Goan community. I think it's the availability of education. Many migrants go overseas and invest in land. In the Goan case, there's less investment in land, but there's more investment in the way of remittances into the education of children. This has helped immigrants over generations take to professional jobs in greater numbers. Goans continue to migrate, partly because as the next generation of children are being educated, they feel they don't have the same economic opportunities for professional development, more so when compared to the West. However, we know that in present times, we have another section of youth of Goa who show a greater interest in Goa itself. They are concerned about inappropriate tourism or environmental hazards. It might just be the enthusiasm of a few individuals which could die off. Or it might become much stronger and an incipient trend towards a greater inertia among the younger generation of Goans. A number of factors have led to the spread of Goans across the world. Socio-economic factors were deteriorating for Goans in the late Portuguese period. Most Goans suffered from things like land taxation, raising of funds for the expeditions of the Portuguese elsewhere, the appropriation of land from the village communities, allowing outsider control of village land, changes in the rights of lands. It's all removed people from the earlier source of livelihood. As people migrated and invested in education, the gap between expectations and reality was aggravated. Goans don't migrate only for economic reasons. Their perception of economic conditions has changed, and there are different ideas about what is an adequate lifestyle, an appropriate salary, or suitable job conditions. It is relative deprivation, not that you can't feed yourself and survive. Expatriates might also put on a particular show when they are back, which might not correlate with their reality abroad. Goans may reside outside Goa, but their heart is at home. Hence, wherever they go, they never forget the Goan culture. They keep the Goan culture alive wherever they settle. It is because of them the Indian government gets foreign currency and their capital is utilized for the upliftment of our country's development. By organizing cultural events, they bring other NRI Goans closer to each other. By migrating to other countries, they have not let our country down, but they have decreased the burden of unemployment in our country, thereby improving our economic fluidity. Over several decades, Goans have immigrated abroad to both lands, near and far. There is a high population density of Goans in Canada, Australia, and the United Kingdom. However, these Goans still stay true to their roots and often gather for annual events, whether it is sports, birthdays, and feasts. Some Goan communities often communicate on a global scale with use of the internet. For example, in the Gulf region, the Goan community has made a mark for itself, bonding with each other and lending a Samaritan hand in every venture. The government has details of migration with it. It should study the intricacies, complexities, and legality of the matter to safeguard the interest of Goans staying behind. If at all Goans have not acquired Gulf citizenships, it is because Gulf countries do not have a policy of granting citizenship to any foreigner. This has proved to be a boon to the state, otherwise thousands of Goans would have preferred to acquire citizenship over here. Of course, in some cases, some Goan families, after working for some years in the Gulf, have migrated to Canada, Australia, America, even New Zealand, and so on. Migration of Goans in huge numbers is not very healthy for our state, and the government should evolve ways and means to discourage the trend. The government should seriously think of creating opportunities for the younger generations to stay back. It should ramp its policies regarding education and health. This would also infuse fresh blood in the functioning and administration of the state and also help in building our economy. I have talked at length about what needs to be done for furthering the cause of NRI Goans in the Gulf in the last convention. A slew of measures which I suggest should be done to use the vast pool of talent for the sustained and environmental friendly growth of Goa. We, the NRI Goans, should have different core groups under the auspices of NRI cell for culture, tourism, information technology, planning and development, education, sports and health. Each of the core groups can formulate its own master plan for the implementation in the best interest of Goa. With networking not a problem, we need to act fast. Then, we will be able to say, yes, we have diamonds in abundant numbers and the export has been considerably halted. They will remain in India and will add to the glamour and the glory of our motherland. Together, let us explore the stars, conquer the deserts, eradicate disease, tap the ocean depths, and encourage arts and commerce. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort, but where he stands in the times of challenge and controversy." Now is the time to decide. Now is the time to act. Now, where do you stand? The following poem summarizes the Goan spirit in these beautiful words. Land of cattle and of pastures green, thirsty is my Goa for a drop of milk. Fertile land of paddy fields, my Goa sweats blood on the cross of Portuguese. O enemy, roll your eyes, fire cannon shots, but I shall never kneel before you. If you wish to saw me, you will have to saw me erect, for I shall never bow before you. Hindu, Christian, Musalman bow, sogle ami exam. Amso fudar godon ami, hots have his eyes. Karki raat sompli aaz, moje tujhe aile raz. Bow bow ek zale, mandovicha sobitira. Bow bow ek zale, mandovicha sobitira. Dev Barenko.
That was a wonderful speech by Simon De Silva from Qatar. Ladies and gentlemen, every penny earned in a foreign land is much valuable to us. But in India, a 100 rupee note is becoming almost worthless nowadays. Our efforts in a foreign country perhaps pays us 40 times or even 80 times to what we get in India. And once we get a taste of foreign money, it's hard to win away from it. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome Sri Rajesh Gairala, General Manager of Almula Exchange, who is going to present to us a focus on remittances and legal ways for transfer and savings for NRIs with a slide presentation. Please welcome Mr. Rajesh Gera.
Honorary member of Congress Working Committee at Delhi, ex-Chief Minister of Goa State, Mr. Luciano Falero, the Chief Secretary of our Goa State, Mr. S.K. Srivastava, our GCC Chairman, Mr. Karma Santos, to whom I am thankful that he invited me here, the visiting dignitaries from all over the world who have gathered here, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, thanks a lot for giving me this opportunity to interact with you and give a small presentation on remittances. As NRI, I think all of us would be interested in that. And I talk about non-resident Indians. And not the one, I think, non-returning Indians that one of the person mentioned here. I'm thankful to be here on this auspicious occasion. First of all, Eid Mubarak to all of you. Al-Mullah Exchange was founded in the year 2001. And thanks to the patronage of our valuable customers, we have rapidly grown since then. And at present, we have 28 branches serving our customers all over Kuwait, which is likely to be extended, and we are planning in that regard, to 36 by end of this financial year. Our investments in technology, high-end products, customer-friendly services, large network, and when I talk of network, large network, we have linkages in 35 countries and with almost 54 banks across the world. With this network, I'm sure we are able to serve almost across all global places. And this is what has helped us to grow over the years. The attempt in Al-Mullah has always been not just merely to meet our customer expectations, but also to surpass those. I'll just make a brief presentation on remittance business in general and Al-Mullah services in particular. I think all of us know what is remittance, but in plain simple words, it's nothing but transferring money from one destination to another. The requirement could be either on personal basis or it could also be for your business requirements, because generally what remittance people relate to is only personal. No, it could also be for the business purposes. These are three questions that we will try to address to during the course of presentation. Number one definitely is, how do I remit? As an NRI, I would be interested in that, as to what are the products that are available to me. Secondly is, how do I select as to who is best for me? Who should I use? Whose services should I use as a NRI? And lastly, but perhaps from my perspective, most importantly, as to why Al-Mullah in particular. I think almost all of us have been using remittance services here, and we would be talking of a plethora of products that are available with our service providers. But basically, there are three standard products. One, and perhaps the most important, is the electronic fund transfer, or what we term as commonly as EFT. There, the fund is delivered at the destination in the account that you want to in the least possible time. Number two, and perhaps that's what the initial product was, and remittance started with that is draft. A product that is gradually dying, mainly on account of the problem that it encounters, the delay that it results in the beneficiary getting the funds. But still, I've seen that, especially for Goa, people are using this particular product. Maybe I think the reason could be that cooperative bank is still popular there, and they are not part of NEFT or RTGS links. And thirdly is our standard cash product, where Western Union is the leader. This is a small slide as to how do I select who's the best for me. As I look at it, I think one of the prime factors should be that the service provider should be interested in knowing as to what are the needs of the customer, rather than what are the needs of the service provider. Most of the time we forget that it is the need of the customer which is of prime importance and not my own commission income or exchange income. Number two is definitely, after all, yes, services are important, but the services, best services should be available to me at most competitive rates. Thirdly is the timely delivery of the funds. There I feel it's also important that what product you select. If you select EFT, yes, you would get the funds in maybe 10 minutes. And we are also working on the products that would be able to deliver your funds instantly. After that is how much the service provider is able to keep up to his commitments. Most of us will say that, okay, we get it in 10 minutes. But how many times are we able to deliver that? What is our percentile for that? I assure you, in Angola, we have been managing that for over 95% of the time. The 10 to 15 minutes delivery to India, especially to those who are holding accounts with SBI and HDFC. And a sum total of all those is your customer-centric services. These are the three pillars